Appreciate the opportunity to be here to present Intrommune Therapeutics to everyone. I'm Michael Nelson. I am the CEO of Intrommune. Intrommune is developing treatments for food allergy that are delivered while a patient brushes their teeth. So everyone's been hearing about food allergies and all the issues that come along with it. It really is much more common than it used to be. The parents, families live in constant fear of accidental exposure. Our treatment is very simple. It integrates right into your routine. We kicked off our Series B down in Miami at Marty's event last week. We already have CDAs that we've entered into, so we're getting quite a bit of interest. We are looking to raise $40 million. The first $10 million of that is going to be in the form of debt, so we can get it done quickly. So $10 million we're targeting closing in Q1, hopefully around February, and the remainder of the Series B in Q2, towards the end of Q2. So looking forward to it. I'll just keep going until the slides are up. So, thanks. So if you could do
I'm going to do it.
Sure. So we take our mission, if you just skip ahead 2 slides. We take our mission very seriously. Our goal is to develop safe and effective options for individuals suffering with food allergies so that they and their loved ones can live their lives without fear. This is really important because it's not just the individual who suffers, and they do suffer. Anyone who has a kid or who is allergic or food allergic knows what I'm talking about. The parents have clinically higher blood pressure. It affects the entire family. And we take this really seriously. Our inventor is himself food allergic. He's allergic to peanuts. When he was 7 years old, he was at a family event. One of his friends gave him a cookie, and the next thing he knew, he was in the back of his parents' car, and they were rushing to the hospital. And he survived, but it changed his life. So next slide, please. What we do is really very, very elegant. We take the proteins people are allergic to. So our first product is INT301. We take peanut proteins, we embed it in a fully functional toothpaste. This does replace that toothbrushing, and you get your allergy immunotherapy when you brush your teeth. This is really important because we know allergy immunotherapy works if you do it consistently. The one thing that people do consistently is brush their teeth. We call it oral mucosal immunotherapy. We're contacting all of the oral mucosa. We have a number of advantages. So we are a biotech company. We started off we're in phase 1, but our phase 1, which is typically a safety study, is actually in people who have peanut allergies. So the FDA allowed us to skip a lot of steps because they knew what we were doing. First of all, you don't have to worry about PK. There's a lot of things you don't have to worry about. Animal models don't make sense. But they knew what we were doing works, and we know what we're doing works because there's been a lot of studies done at universities and other places. 2 milligrams of peanut protein works as well as the one product that's ever been approved for any food allergy, which has you eat 300 milligrams of peanut protein. Food allergies are a huge problem. There's 32 million Americans in the US with food allergies. Worldwide, there's over 250 million people. The total cost just to children, families of children with food allergies, and just in the United States, $25 billion a year. There's 9 common foods that account for over 90% of food allergies. So our first target is peanut, but our second product is going to be a multi-allergen product, so we'll have even bigger target market. Right now, your best option is avoidance. If you accidentally eat what you're allergic to, you give yourself epinephrine and you get yourself to an emergency room. There is one product that's out there. People don't want to use it, and I will talk about it, but it basically has you eat what you're allergic to, and people don't want to do that. Our first target is targeting peanut allergies, but we're confident that we could actually have probably about 3, maybe 4 toothpaste we contact all 9. Most people aren't allergic to all 9, so people will be using 1, 2 of our products, and they will get protection from accidental exposure. The mouth is a perfect classroom for teaching the body what to react to and not react to. Next slide, please. So what we're doing in terms of the mouth, we're contacting all of the oral mucosa. If you're just contacting, I mentioned the sublingual immunotherapy, drops delivered under the tongue. It works as well as one product that's approved. We contact 12 times the surface area. Marty, it didn't switch. Can you? Yeah. Okay. We contact 12 times the perfect. It contacts 12 times the surface area, but it actually also contacts the parts of the mouth that have higher concentrations of the cells we're trying to contact. They're a type of dendritic cell. They're called oral Langerhans cells. And so we actually contact 16 times the amount of oral Langerhans cells as sublingual immunotherapy. We could also get our dose much higher than sublingual immunotherapy. You're maxed out at 2, maybe 4 milligrams for sublingual immunotherapy. We could go as high as 120 milligrams. But some of the key things are you learn from a very young age to spit out toothpaste. So you're avoiding that systemic adverse event that you're seeing with the one product that's out there called oral immunotherapy where you have to eat it. And then the biggest advantage is it's built right into your daily routine. This is something that you're going to do potentially for the rest of your life. Where protection from accidental exposure. Most people won't be cured. They won't be eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But it's something that you need to do. And by integrating this right into your routine, you will get that protection. We know heart medication, only about 50% of people take it, right? So by integrating this into something you're already doing, we're going to make a huge difference. Next slide, please. I'll go through very quickly the next few, just talking about the mechanism of action. But when you brush your teeth, in the first 15, 30 seconds, that toothpaste liquefies right away, and then you swish it around your mouth, and those proteins bind ionically to the surface of the mucosa. So, everyone says, well, I don't brush my teeth for 2 minutes, which is what the American Dental Association recommends. But really, you need that initial contact, and you need to be doing it consistently. Next slide, please. What happens after that is over the next 15 to 20 minutes or so, the oral Langerhans cells reach up and pull these proteins into the lymphatic system. These are very large proteins. They're not only in the bloodstream. Our mechanism of action is very different than a typical drug. We're trying to expose the immune system to these proteins. Next slide, please. So these oral Langerhans cells, they've now picked up the proteins. They start expressing it on the surface. The protein, and what they do is they travel to the local lymph node, and they contact naive T cells, and they start differentiating the T cells. Next slide, please. Those T cells then go out, and what they do is tamp down on the immune response. And when you eat something you're allergic to, you don't go into anaphylaxis. Next slide, please. Just to give you a sense, we are very low risk. For a biotech company, I don't think you'll find one lower risk. Our phase 1 is in people who are peanut allergic, right? We didn't have to do the typical safety study. We finished the first cohort. We haven't put out information about it. We're private, so I can talk about it, but we haven't seen any significant adverse events. So it's exactly what we expected, which is a little bit of oral itching, and it goes away. Every year, there's 100,000 new peanut allergic individuals born in the US. They will become peanut allergic at some point in their life. That represents about $1 billion of market entrance, huge social impact. We have substantial near-term liquidity events. We'll have the phase 1 data, we'll have additional phase 1 data, we'll go up to a maximum tolerated dose. We're going to start getting efficacy data. It's one of the reasons why I'm here. We're going to go into children. We'll have phase 2 data very quickly. But we also have multiple products, and we still have European rights, and we could license to Europe. So there's very low development risk here. The significant comparator, the one comparator that was out there, people don't want to use it, still purchased for $2.6 billion. But in short, patients, practitioners, payers, they're all desperately seeking protection from accidental exposure. Next slide, please. Next slide. Just to give you a sense, this is peanut in the United States only, so it's not rest of the world. And it's only peanut, it's not all the other foods, not our pipeline. 6 million people in the US with peanut allergies, 1.6 million of them are children. Between the adults and the children, we think we're going to get about 690,000 as our total addressable market. That represents over $7 billion just in the United States, just on our first product. Product 2 is even higher. And we know insurance companies, right now with the other products being billed at $11,000 per year, insurance companies like to pay for adherence, drugs that you actually use, and they don't want to be sending patients to the emergency room. 14% of patients using another product end up needing emergency epilepsy, which is a huge cost to insurance companies. Next slide, please. Thank you, Marty. We have global exclusive rights to 35 patents. That's actually quickly growing. We cover all food allergy immunotherapy. It really covers oral care products. What we care about is toothpaste, because that's what we use every day. We also have a patent family around the formulation that stabilizes the proteins. Happy to go into more detail on this. Next slide, please, Marty. We are in our phase 1. Our phase 1 is in peanut allergic individuals. The FDA has been highly collaborative with us. They've already allowed us to go to much higher dosing than we originally requested. We don't have to do toxicology. Our active ingredient is peanut protein. And Circuit Clinical has been a fantastic partner of ours. Next slide, please. We have raised $6 million to date. Our last raise was at a $60 million valuation. We have a lot of data since then. With that $6 million, and we still have enough to complete our phase 1 in the bank, we got exclusive rights to oral mucosal immunotherapy to the toothpaste. We've developed our formulation for INT 301, which is the peanut version. Our IND was accepted and we are in clinical studies. We're looking to raise $40 million as our Series B. We want to get $10 million in quicker to stay on our timeline of getting this product approved. That $10 million will allow us to launch our phase 2. It will get us what we need to do in adults. The remainder of the $30 million will allow us to do it in children. Some of the longer dated chemistry and manufacturing, we want to get started on now. So we are seeking, we're going to make that $10 million piece very attractive to get that done as quickly as possible. So please come talk to me if it's an area you're interested in. The remainder of the $30 million gets us through the end of phase 2, gets us potentially, should get us to a multi-billion-dollar valuation. So within 18 months, this company should be worth close to $2 billion. I have a couple of slides. I don't know how much time I have on valuation.
Maybe 5-10 minutes.
All right, so yeah, I'll talk very quickly about the next slide. Just to give you a sense where we could be in about 6 months with the phase 1 data that's coming. If you look at, there's a company called DBV Technologies. It has a skin patch, and what their evaluation was, their patch, unfortunately, they're having a lot of trouble getting through the FDA. The skin is actually around sensitization, not desensitization, but just gives you a focus of what we think our evaluation would be. This came from a number of bankers and strategics. Next slide, please. After once we start getting the phase 2 data in hand, we are expecting close to a $2 billion valuation. IvyFON Therapeutics, they're the company that has Forces, the one product that's approved. They were acquired for $2.6 billion right at the beginning of COVID. There's a product that you need to spend half a day in the doctor's office when you first start. Every doctor's office was closed. You then have to, about 14% of patients end up being sent to the emergency room. Nobody wants to go to the emergency room during the pandemic. Nestle was on their board. They knew all these issues. They bought it for $2.6 billion. Yet only 1 in 10 patients want to use the product. We had a survey done by Allergy and Asthma Network. 90% of patients said that they would use our product. Next slide, please. DBV, when they were out there and people were hopeful that it would work before they failed at phase 3, they were considered the safe alternative. We're now the safe alternative. They got buyout offers north of over $4 billion. Next slide, please. I want to talk about the team a bit. Myself, my background is actually very different. I was a biochemistry major, but I'm the least educated person on the team. I started off my career as an attorney at large New York law firms, switched over to healthcare investment banking, and then I was on the buy side. The last place was at Broadwall.biz, where I was part of a team of 3 of us. We were investing $2 billion in the market. Stuart Lesh just recently came on board. He was acting president of Meta. He was in the process of selling it for their U.S. operations. Got a bid of well over $1 billion, and then the acquirer came in and decided to buy the whole company, not just the U.S. operations. He went over to ALK. He has 30 years of experience in this space. He was willing to walk away from ALK and come here because he sees what we're doing. He sees the benefit that we're going to offer to patients. He sees everything else that we're doing and the huge potential. Eric First, Chief Development Officer, he actually has a lot of patents on Botox itself. He's a great addition. We have a full team. What's not listed here is Nandini, head of regulatory, Albert, head of CNC, that's chemistry and manufacturing controls, And we even just brought on a quality assurance person. Next slide, please. Bill Reisacker, I mentioned, he's our inventor. Yogi Marengo used to be a Wall Street analyst in this space, covering food allergies. Tanya Winders, we brought her on board. She's the CEO of Allergy and Asthma Network. She's been a fantastic help to us. Allergy and Asthma Network is the one that went out and did the surveys and made us really confident that our product is going to be very attractive to patients. But part of the reason why we brought Stuart on so early, a commercial person, is to make sure that we're developing a product that people actually want to use. Next slide. So just in summary, this is a revolutionary patented toothpaste. It does replace that toothbrushing. We do expect greater efficacy than what's out there with really no or very limited need for epinephrine. We have that built-in adherence. It's going to reduce that anxiety that kids have, that adults have, that their entire families have. And this is a platform for multiple allergies. Product 2 is going to be bigger. We haven't even talked about Europe. We have European rights. We have Asian rights. We have everything. This is a huge market potential. We are looking for that 40 million to get us to a multi-billion dollar valuation. So thank you very much.
Great. So, can you talk about your marketing plans? Like, are you going to distribute the product? Who distributes it for you? Because obviously there's a lot of toothpaste makers out there. Would they, build a toothpaste around it, license your patents or license your technology?
Yeah. So you asked about the marketing plans, and that's why we brought Stuart last year, because we are developing those marketing plans. It is 4 to 5 years before this product is on the market, but we're already working on developing. This will be a product that's covered by insurance. Insurance will cover it. There's a lot of allergy organizations out there. Let them try not to. There'll be a huge uproar about it. But this will be going through as a benefit to, and so the first, when you do the updosing, we'll be doing it in the doctor's office, and then we'll be buying it from but you mentioned toothpaste manufacturers. There is a huge component to this that is consumer, right? This is partly a consumer business. So there is certainly interest from toothpaste manufacturers, from electric toothpaste manufacturers. We are going to be able to give patients an electric toothbrush. We're going to be able to give them their toothpaste paid for by their insurance, and we're going to have an app, and we'll follow along what they're doing. So we're going to be a pharma company that's closer than anyone's ever been.
So insurance is the payer.
Payer is the insurance, yeah.
And so what's the current insurance payments for if I'm, for the existing treatments on an annual basis versus what you're going to be charging?
Yeah, so then the current company is billing out at close to $11,000 per year.
Okay.
We haven't set our price. It may very well be less than that because we want to make sure that everyone gets access to this product. We have arguments to charge more. People will actually use our product. They won't be ending up in the emergency room. So we do have arguments to charge more, but we're just going to be honing in on that.
I guess my question is, does insurance reimburse 100%, 80%, how much?
Our expectation is that there will be a copay that will be somewhere between $20 and $50 every 2 months. And then if you don't have that money, we'll have to open the price to make sure that everyone can get this. This is definitely an issue for people who don't have money as well.
Question.
It's really interesting. For how long would a patient be taking it, and how would they know that it in fact is working? Would there be required 6 months follow-up?
Two very good questions. So one is, how long will patients be taking it? They should take it for the rest of their lives. Some patients will be cured, but we won't necessarily know